He's had a busy couple of days. Adrian Wojnarowski. And Woj joins us now on the program. Woj, thanks for joining us. What are the Pelicans doing right now? The statement that came out almost felt like they're saying, you're not going to bully us into trading Anthony Davis. You're not going to, be tampering with our star. So the approach that the Pelicans have now is what?
Hey, Dan, somewhat defiant. Now, they know they're going to have to move Anthony Davis, and I think they're resigned to the fact that if it's not here at the trade deadline, it'll be during this off season. I don't think they have an appetite to try to bring him back next season for the final year of his deal. I think they know the best possible package they can get for him is when he still has a full year left on his deal. Right now, between now and the trade deadline next Thursday, they're going to see what kinds of offers come in, and they're going to need to be bowled over to do a deal here in the short term because they would like ultimately to get the best possible package for him, and that probably includes needing to have the Celtics part of the bidding, and the Celtics can't be part of the bidding until we get closer to July 1.
Could the Celtics make this trade in theory and then finalize it in July when they're officially allowed to bring him in?
Yes. I don't know that they would agree to a deal structure this far out, especially during the season.
Yeah.
But once the season's over, especially when there's draft picks involved, and Boston could have more than one pick in this coming draft, you see this a lot where a team's drafting for somebody else on draft night, and then the deal and then all the pieces and the trade is finalized on July 1. So even though they technically can't do the deal until July 1, once Kyrie Irving's a free agent, they could have an agreement in place well before then.
What's the Lakers' approach? What's their game plan?
They're going to be aggressive. They're going to make an offer, maybe more than one offer. I think they're going to try to piece together their young assets and some combination of them, and I'm sure draft picks or a pick, and try to get this done before the trade deadline next week. There's a window here for them to try to do this without the Celtics really being involved. But the hard part for the Lakers, twofold. One, the Pelicans are not dying to send him to L.A., and the Lakers went through this last year with Kawhi Leonard. They felt that the Spurs never really were going to move Kawhi Leonard to them at that time. Now the Spurs felt like the offer wasn't good enough. So, but the Pelicans, I think the Pelican sense is whatever the Lakers' best offer is at the trade deadline, it's still going to be there for us in 2 or 3 months. It's not going to go anywhere in the off season. They want Anthony Davis, and they'll assuredly ante up, like I said, some combination of their young players and picks.
If you had to bet a week's pay of where Anthony Davis will be in a month?
I think a month. I think he's probably still with the Pelicans.
Okay. So nothing's going to happen until the offseason.
I think that's the more likely scenario. But listen, I've covered this. You've covered this stuff, Dan. It can change, and there could be some bidding, some like bidding war that gets going between now and the trade deadline that makes sense for the Pelicans, and they may just want this thing to be over and move on. Part of it sometimes is ownership's appetite for the stress it puts on an organization over a few months span. So you always have to take that into account too.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.